If Emily Carter had known her husband would smile the moment the doctor said 3 days, she might have run out of the hospital before hearing the rest. The room was still spinning when Dr. Harris delivered the sentence that cracked the ground beneath her feet. "Mrs. Carter, I'm afraid your husband has only 3 days." Emily froze. Her fingers went numb, the air thinned, and her heartbeat roared like a drum against her ribs. She expected her husband, Michael Carter, her partner of 11 years, to collapse, cry, or break in fear. But instead, Michael smiled. Not a sad smile. Not a brave smile. A smile of relief. Then he whispered, almost too softly for anyone else to hear. Finally, Emily felt the temperature of the room drop. A chill spread through her arms as if someone had opened a window into winter. Finally? Why finally? Why smile at death? And why had he looked at the floor instead of at her? Emily's world tilted, but she kept silent because something in his expression told her she didn't want the answer. Not yet. Not while the doctor was in the room. Not while Michael avoided her eyes. Not while her mind screamed that something was terribly, terribly wrong. But her silence didn't last. When the doctor left, Emily finally asked, "Michael, why did you smile?" And that was the moment her husband, who had always been gentle, warm, dependable, looked up with eyes she didn't recognize. Eyes full of secrets. He opened his mouth to speak. But a sudden knock at the door interrupted him. A woman entered. A stranger. Tall. Dark hair. Wearing a gray coat. Her face calm as stone. And she looked straight at Michael. "It's time," she said. Michael stiffened. Emily stepped back. "Who are you?" Emily demanded. The woman didn't look at her. Not even for a second. Her attention was locked on Michael like Emily wasn't even in the room. Michael swallowed hard. His smile was gone. But something else replaced it. Fear. He stood from the hospital bed too quickly for someone supposedly dying. He winced, but he didn't stop. He walked toward the woman as if pulled by invisible strings. "Emily," he said, voice trembling, "please stay here. I'll explain everything. Just give me a little time." "Time?" Emily snapped. "You only have 3 days, Michael. Time is exactly what you don't have." But he didn't answer. The woman in the gray coat put a hand on his shoulder and whispered something Emily could not hear. And then, they left. The door clicked shut. Emily stood frozen in the middle of the hospital room, her breath trapped in her lungs. Her husband was told he had 3 days left to live. He smiled. A strange woman walked in. And he walked out with her. Nothing about this made sense. Nothing. Emily grabbed her purse, shoved the door open, and bolted into the hallway. But Michael and the woman were gone. Vanished. As if they had never been there at all. To understand the present, Emily had to rewind to the day everything began, before the smile, before the secrets. The day started normally in Madison, Wisconsin, where Michael and Emily lived in a cozy 2-story house near Lake Monona. Emily had woken up early to finish a design project for her freelance job. Michael cooked bacon downstairs, humming the same classic rock song he always hummed when he was in a good mood. Emily remembered that morning perfectly. Especially one detail. He kissed her forehead and whispered, "I love you," almost like he thought he wouldn't get to say it again. At the time, she thought it was sweet. Now it felt like a warning. They had left the house together. Michael said he needed to stop by the post office. Emily planned to pick up groceries. They shared a quick goodbye outside the Baker Street Market. 10 minutes later, she found him collapsed in the parking lot of the post office, unconscious, pale, and barely breathing. She screamed for help. An ambulance rushed him to the hospital. Tests were done. Machines beeped. Finally, Dr. Harris gave the diagnosis that shattered everything. A rare degenerative neurological failure. Aggressive. Sudden. No cure. 3 days. 3 days for goodbye. 3 days of pain. 3 days of slow fading. That was what the doctor said. But now Emily replayed that moment in her head with new eyes. Michael didn't look shocked. He didn't look confused. He looked like someone who had been waiting. Like someone whose expiration date had been scheduled. And Emily began to wonder. Was Michael dying or running out of time? Emily stormed through the hospital hallway, scanning every corner, every room, every waiting area. No Michael. No gray coat woman. Nothing. She grabbed a nurse. "Excuse me, did you see my husband?" He was with a woman, tall, dark hair, gray coat. The nurse blinked. "I didn't see anyone leave your room, miss. I've been at this station the whole time." "That's impossible," Emily insisted. They walked right past. But the nurse shook her head. "I'm telling you, I didn't see anyone." Emily felt her skin go cold. She checked the elevators, the stairwells, the parking lot. Empty. As if Michael had disappeared into thin air. Emily's breathing grew shaky. The hospital lights blurred as panic clawed at her chest. Her husband was dying. And now he was missing. And worst of all, he had walked away willingly. Why? Who is the woman? And what did finally mean? Emily felt tears sting the corners of her eyes, but she wiped them away. Hard. No, she whispered to herself. I'm not losing him. Not like this. She returned to Michael's hospital room and sank into the cold plastic chair beside the bed. She grabbed his phone from the nightstand. Locked. She tried the password she always knew. 0423, their wedding anniversary. Wrong. Next she tried. 11/27, the day they met. Wrong again. Her fingers stiffened. Michael never changed his passwords. Never. Why no? Her mind raced until she dropped the phone in frustration, and that's when she noticed it. A slip of folded paper half tucked under the pillow. Emily's heart lurched. She pulled it out with trembling fingers. The note had only 4 words. 4 words that froze her blood. Don't trust anyone. Emily stared at the message until her vision blurred. The walls seemed to close in around her. Her breaths grew quick and shallow. Don't trust anyone? What was happening? Suddenly, the door creaked. Emily jerked her head up. A different doctor stood in the doorway. A young man Emily didn't recognize. Mrs. Carter? We need to talk. Emily's chest tightened. About my husband? The doctor nodded slowly. Yes, but before I explain anything, I need to know something important. He stepped inside and shut the door softly. Then he asked the last question Emily expected. Did he tell you who he really is? Emily's throat closed. Who he really is? What do you mean? She whispered. The doctor exhaled heavily. Michael Carter is not the man you think he is. Emily's heart pounded so hard it hurt her chest. Not the man I think he is? What do you mean? Her voice shook. The young doctor, Dr. Lewis, looked at her with grave seriousness. Mrs. Carter, I have to warn you, this isn't easy. Michael, he's involved in something very dangerous. And the reason he smiled when the doctor said 3 days is not because he's happy to die. Emily's mind screamed. Dangerous? What are you talking about? Dr. Lewis continued. He's part of a government witness protection program. And the woman you saw, the one in the gray coat, she's not just a stranger. She's an agent sent to extract him before certain people find him. Emily's jaw dropped. What? You're saying he's running? Dr. Lewis shook his head. Not running. He's protecting you. That's why he smiled. If he had shown panic or fear, it would have put both of you in danger. He's always known. He has only a limited time before his enemies locate him. Emily sat down, trembling, trying to understand. Limited time? But, the doctor said. The doctor's diagnosis was real, Dr. Lewis interrupted gently. But it was deliberately faked to keep him calm. The truth is, the 3 days were a cover. A way to make him appear vulnerable while agents orchestrate his extraction. He wanted you to believe he was dying, to keep you safe. Emily's head spun. Safe? From what? Who? Before she could ask, her phone vibrated. It was a text from an unknown number. Emily, if you want to see Michael alive, do exactly as I say. Go to the address attached. Alone. A map popped up on the screen. A small warehouse near the edge of Madison. Emily's hands shook. She could barely breathe. Dr. Lewis, what do I do? He looked serious. I'll be honest, this is extremely dangerous. But if you go, you might finally understand the truth about Michael and why he had to leave like that. Emily's mind was a storm. Part of her wanted to call the police. Another part wanted to run and hide. But her heart screamed, I have to see him. I have to know. She grabbed her coat, keys, and phone. Dr. Lewis insisted she take only what she could carry in her hands. Trust no one along the way. No phone calls. No directions from strangers. Only follow the map exactly. Emily nodded, forcing her legs to move. Every step down the hospital corridor felt like walking through quicksand. Her thoughts raced with terrifying questions. Who is he really? Why didn't he tell me? And the woman, what's her role in all of this? The warehouse was isolated, surrounded by tall fences and thick fog rolling off Lake Monona. Emily parked her car at a safe distance and approached on foot. Her heart pounded like a drum. Every shadow seemed alive. A figure appeared near the entrance, tall, gray coat, her face partially hidden by a hood. Agent Sloan, Emily whispered under her breath. Sloan raised a hand, signaling her to stop. Mrs. Carter, you shouldn't be here. It's dangerous. I don't care, Emily shouted. I need to see Michael. Sloane's eyes softened slightly, then hardened again. Follow me, but one wrong move, and you may never see him again. Emily followed cautiously. Inside, the warehouse was eerily quiet. Only one light flickered in the distance. And then, she saw him. Michael. Standing in the center of the warehouse, alive, looking more tense than she had ever seen him. Emily, he said softly, his voice cracking. Relief and fear mixed in his eyes. You shouldn't have come. Michael. Why? Why didn't you tell me the truth? What's going on? He took a deep breath, glancing at Agent Sloan before speaking. Emily, there's no easy way to say this. I've been living a double life for years. I never wanted you involved. I wanted to protect you. Emily felt tears streaming down her cheeks. Protect me? From what? From who? You just left me alone in the hospital. Michael stepped closer, gently holding her hands. I had no choice. If anyone saw me scared, if they thought I was weak, they could have found you, Emily. They could have hurt you. Emily shook her head, confused and angry. Who? Who would hurt us? Who are you really? Michael's eyes darkened, heavy with secrets. I can't tell you everything yet. Not here. Not now. But I can tell you this. The 3 days the doctor told you? That was a lie. A lie to make my enemies believe I was about to die. That smile, it wasn't relief that I was dying. It was relief that the plan was working. That you were safe. Emily's legs trembled. Safe? But at what cost, Michael? At what cost? Before he could answer, the warehouse doors banged open. Shadows moved outside. The sound of footsteps echoed in the vast space. Agent Sloan stepped in front of Michael and Emily, drawing her weapon. We've been spotted. Move now. Michael grabbed Emily's hand. Stay close to me. Don't let go. No matter what happens. Emily nodded, gripping his hand so tightly it hurt. Her heart raced. She didn't know what was coming, but she knew one thing, she wasn't letting him go. And then the chase began. They sprinted through the warehouse, dodging crates and machinery. Michael led Emily through a hidden door Sloan had revealed moments earlier. Outside, the night was cold, fog swirling around them. Gunshots rang out in the distance. Michael pulled Emily behind a stack of crates. We can't go back. We have to reach the safe house. Emily gasped, trying to catch her breath. Safe house? Michael, I'm terrified. I know, he said. But you have to trust me. Trust me like you've never trusted anyone before. Emily swallowed her fear and nodded. I trust you. I don't care what you've been hiding. I just want you safe. Michael's eyes softened. And I want you safe. That's why I smiled at the hospital. I knew the extraction was about to start. That the woman in gray. Agent Sloan, she'd get me out before anyone could harm you. Emily shook her head, still trying to wrap her mind around everything. You left me there. Alone. I could have been killed. Michael pulled her close. I know. I'm so sorry. I had no choice. You would have been in more danger if I told you the truth. I had to make you believe I was dying, to keep you calm, to keep you safe. Emily felt a mix of anger, fear, and overwhelming relief. She clung to him as they ran into the woods behind the warehouse, the fog thick and the sounds of pursuit growing louder. Somehow, she realized one thing as she ran: she would follow Michael anywhere, even into hell itself, because she couldn't lose him. Not now. Not ever. Michael and Emily ran through the dense woods behind the warehouse, branches clawing at their faces, fog curling around their ankles. Every heartbeat sounded deafening in Emily's ears, each step a mix of fear and adrenaline. Finally, after what felt like hours, Michael pulled Emily behind a large oak tree. "We're close," he whispered, chest heaving. "Just a little farther. The safe house is through that ridge." Emily nodded, though her legs were trembling. "I don't understand any of this, Michael. Who are these people? Who's after you? Why lie to me about everything?" Michael looked at her, sorrow etched across his face. "I wanted to tell you everything. I wanted to tell you the truth from the start. But I couldn't. You have to understand, some truths are too dangerous to share until the timing is right." Emily's hands shook as she tried to steady her breathing. "I can handle it, Michael. I can handle anything if I'm with you." He gave her a small, pained smile. "I know. And that's why I need you to stay calm. One wrong move could blow everything." They moved cautiously across the ridge, each step silent, careful not to leave a trace. Soon, a small cabin appeared ahead, hidden among the trees. Smoke curled lazily from the chimney, a sign someone was inside. Michael knocked in a specific pattern on the door. After a tense moment, it opened slightly, revealing a man with short gray hair and intense green eyes. "Michael," the man said, voice low but urgent. "You're cutting it close." "Not my fault," Michael muttered under his breath, then turned to Emily. "Stay here. Do not open that door unless I say so." Emily nodded, gripping his hand tightly. Her pulse raced, but she trusted him, despite the storm of confusion and fear inside her. Michael stepped inside the cabin, and Emily followed cautiously. Inside, the cabin was small but secure, maps pinned on the walls, weapons tucked neatly in cabinets, and several monitors showing different locations around Madison. Emily blinked. This is a command center?" Michael nodded. "It's a safe house. A place to plan and hide. And now, I need to tell you everything." Emily's eyes widened. "Everything." He took a deep breath. "I've been living a double life for years. I worked for a secret government division, one that handles covert operations and high-risk intelligence. The reason we've always lived quietly, it's because I've had enemies who would stop at nothing to get me, and by extension, to get you." Emily felt her stomach drop. "Enemies? What kind of enemies?" Michael hesitated. "Some of them are former agents, rogue operatives. Some are people who want information I have. Dangerous people. Very dangerous. The kind who wouldn't hesitate to hurt the people I love." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "All this time, you never told me. And the hospital, the 3 days, it was a lie." He nodded. "A lie to protect you. When the diagnosis came in, I knew I had to act quickly." Smiling, saying, "Finally, it was a way to keep my enemies from suspecting I knew what was coming. It bought us time." Emily shook her head, trying to process the flood of information. "All this, for me?" Michael reached out and took both her hands. "For you and for us. I couldn't risk losing you. That's why I left the hospital the way I did. That's why Agent Sloan was there. She's been assigned to keep me safe and you indirectly." Emily's thoughts raced. She remembered Sloan's warning, one wrong move, and you may never see him again. "So, Sloan, she's not my enemy?" Emily asked. Michael shook his head. "No, she's on our side. But even she can't protect us if we make mistakes." Suddenly, a loud bang shook the cabin. A bullet had struck the wooden wall near the window. Emily screamed, dropping to the floor. Michael grabbed her, pulling her behind a table. "They found us. Stay low. Stay quiet." Emily's heart pounded. "Michael, what now?" Michael's jaw tightened. "We fight. We survive. We get to the next safe location, and then, I promise, you'll understand everything." Every secret. Every reason I've ever left things unsaid. Emily's hands trembled, but she nodded. I trust you. I'll do whatever it takes. Michael's eyes softened briefly. I know you will. That's why I need you here, with me. Bullets cracked against the walls. Michael grabbed Emily's hand again. Ready? She swallowed hard and nodded. Ready. Michael and Emily darted toward a hidden exit behind a bookshelf, disappearing into a tunnel Michael had discovered long ago. They ran through narrow passages, the sounds of pursuit growing fainter as they made their way to a secondary safe house, underground, secure, and far from prying eyes. Once inside the underground safe house, Michael finally stopped. He turned to Emily, exhaustion and tension etched on his face. Emily, there's one more thing you need to know, he said, voice low but serious. Emily braced herself. What is it? Michael took a deep breath. The 3 days at the hospital. It was only the beginning. I am being hunted because of a list, names, places, secrets that could destroy people. And some of those names are closer to us than you think. Emily's eyes widened. Closer? How? Michael hesitated, then whispered. One of the people trying to find me is someone we've trusted. Someone we see every day. And if they succeed, they'll come after you next. Emily's heart stopped. Someone we know? Michael nodded grimly. Yes. And that's why I smiled in the hospital. Because I knew the extraction was starting, and if I played my part right, I could protect you, even from people you thought were friends. Emily felt her world tilt. Everything she knew, her life, her husband, their home, was suddenly filled with shadows and secrets. Yet as terrifying as it was, one thing remained clear: she would follow him through anything. Because love and trust had never been more dangerous or more necessary. Emily sat on the edge of the metal cot in the underground safe house, trying to make sense of Michael's words. Her hands shook. Her mind spun. One thought kept repeating, someone we know is after us? Michael paced the small room, his face etched with tension. We can't stay here long. They'll track us eventually. But there's one more thing you need to see, one more piece of the puzzle. Emily's stomach twisted. What is it? He opened a secured briefcase, revealing a small stack of files, photographs, and documents. Emily leaned in, her eyes widening as she saw her own neighborhood, familiar faces, and notes scribbled in Michael's neat handwriting. This, she whispered. This is our life? Michael nodded. For years, I've been protecting you from the shadows. The list I mentioned, it's information that could topple entire criminal networks. And those networks, some of their members are much closer to us than you realize. Friends, neighbors, people we never suspected. Emily's hands trembled as she flipped through a photo. One picture stopped her cold, a blurred image of someone she trusted, her own best friend, Laura Simmons, standing near the warehouse the night Michael was extracted. No, Emily whispered. It can't be her. Michael's eyes darkened. It is. I'm sorry. She's been compromised. And she's the reason they knew where to find us at the hospital. Emily felt a surge of anger and betrayal. She would betray me? Michael grabbed her hands. Not you, Emily. She doesn't know you. But she's been manipulated. That's why we had to act fast. Suddenly, alarms blared in the safe house. Red lights flashed. Michael grabbed Emily, pulling her to a hidden exit. Time to move. Now. They raced through a concealed passage, emerging outside in the dead of night. Fog rolled across the field, muffling the sound of their footsteps. Michael led Emily to a sleek black SUV waiting in the shadows, Agent Sloan at the wheel. Go, she ordered. We'll lose them if we move fast. Emily climbed in beside Michael, heart pounding. Where are we going? To the extraction point, Michael replied. From there, we disappear for good. We'll reveal everything once it's safe. As the SUV sped through the foggy streets of Madison, Emily looked at Michael. All these years, the lies, the secrets, why didn't you trust me? Michael's eyes softened. Because I loved you too much to risk you. Some truths can destroy the people we care about if they're not ready. But now, you're ready. And together, we can face anything. Emily's heart swelled. Despite the fear, Despite the betrayal, despite the danger, she believed him. She would face it all with him. The SUV stopped at a secluded clearing outside the city. Michael and Emily stepped out cautiously. In the shadows, a figure emerged, Laura Simmons. "Emily," Laura called softly, fear in her eyes. "I didn't want it to happen like this." Emily's jaw tightened. "You betrayed us, Laura." "How could you?" Laura stepped closer, trembling. "I didn't betray you. I was forced. They threatened my family. I tried to warn you, but they were always one step ahead. Please believe me." Michael stepped forward. "Emily, she's telling the truth. But we can't trust her completely, not yet." A sudden noise behind them made Emily spin. Figures emerged from the fog, armed men, clearly the ones hunting Michael. Michael's expression hardened. "Emily, stay close. Don't let go." A tense firefight erupted. Michael, Emily, and Agent Sloan moved with precision, taking cover behind trees and rocks. Emily's heart raced, but she kept moving, trusting Michael completely. Finally, after what felt like hours but was only minutes, the attackers were neutralized or driven off. Silence fell. The fog swallowed the last of their pursuers. Emily sank to the ground, exhausted. Michael knelt beside her. "You're safe now. For real." Tears streamed down Emily's face. "I don't know how we survived, but I know one thing. I'll never doubt you again. Not now. Not ever." Michael pulled her close, holding her as the fog rolled over them. "I promise, no more secrets. From now on, we face everything together. No lies. No more hiding." Emily smiled through her tears. Together. Weeks later, Michael and Emily were in a new city, far from Madison. They had a new life, quiet, normal on the surface, but stronger than ever. Michael had shared his entire story, every secret, every danger they had faced. Emily had listened, absorbed, and forgiven. The experience had changed them. Emily knew life would never be ordinary again, but that didn't matter. She had Michael, and he had her. One night, sitting on the porch of their new home, Emily asked softly, "Do you ever miss it? The danger, the adrenaline?" Michael shook his head with a gentle smile. "Not when I have you. Nothing compares to this, real life, real love, and the truth between us." Emily leaned against him, feeling the warmth of his arms. "Finally," she whispered. Michael laughed softly. "Finally," he echoed. And for the first time in years, everything felt safe. Life is full of secrets, twists, and moments that test trust. Sometimes, the people we love the most may hold truths we cannot imagine, but love, courage, and understanding can survive anything. Remember, trust wisely, love fiercely, and never underestimate the power of standing together against the unknown.